Hello and welcome to Prairie Pulse. Today's guest is Executive Director of the Fargo Theater and the Director of the upcoming 19th Annual Fargo Film Festival, Emily Beck. Emily, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
As we always do, to get started, tell the folks a little bit about yourself and maybe your background.
Sure. Well, I'm a North Dakota girl. I was born here in Fargo. I grew up in Valley City, North Dakota, where I went to high school. I came to Fargo-Moorhead to study film at MSUM. I kind of fell in love with the community. I had a couple professors there that really, inspired me to continue down the film track, and I started volunteering for the Fargo Film Festival when I was in school. After that, I worked for the Marcus Theaters Corporation for a few years and kind of bided my time for a job opening to become available at the historic Fargo Theater. I knew I wanted to work there. And unfortunately, a programming position did open up, and now I've been with the organization for about 10.5 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah. How long is Executive Director?
about 7.5 then.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, with that said, before we get into the festival, film festival, which you came to talk about today, how's the Fargo Theater doing?
Great. We are thriving. We're open 364 days and nights a year. And I think our programming slate has never been more diverse. Lots of concerts and events, but we're continuing to run, I think, some of the very best movies out there. Oscar season has been great for us, and hopefully we're offering Fargo-Moorhead film lovers what they want to see up on the big screen.
Okay. Well, now let's turn to the 19th annual. As I said, it's hard to believe, coming up on 20 years. Yeah. When is the festival this year, and what can people expect?
So the 19th Annual Fargo Film Festival will run March 19th through the 23rd. We're a 5-day festival. And if you've never attended, it is 5 mornings, afternoons, nights of movies. We'll show nearly 100 movies over the course of those 5 days. It's special guests. We do have artists fly in from not just all over the United States. We also have some international guests as well. And it's parties, it's socials, it's learning opportunities like lunch and panel discussions. We try to offer a little bit of something for everybody throughout the course of those 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. What about any filmmakers, actors, or special guests coming? Can you tell us about any yet?
Absolutely. Okay. There's a few that I'm particularly excited about. On Thursday evening of the film festival, we will have an event celebrating the 15th anniversary of the beloved comedy Napoleon Dynamite. It's a movie that I absolutely grew up loving, so I'm so excited we get to have this little celebration. It's also kind of secured itself a cult status in the film world, so I think there's a lot of people that could quote almost the whole movie to you. So the event, we're going to show the full-length film, and then after that wraps, the 2 stars of the movie, Jon Heder and Efren Ramirez, who play Napoleon and Pedro, will come out on stage, and they'll have a discussion about the movie and their careers, and then hopefully they'll take some questions from their fans in the audience. Mm-hmm. Pretty excited for that one. And then the Friday night of the festival, it's going to be our honor to welcome Richard Edlund as basically our guest of honor. He's receiving our equivalent of like a Lifetime Achievement Award, the Ted N. Larson Award. Now, Richard might not be a household name, but in the film industry, he's a legend. He's an icon in the world of visual or special effects. He goes back, his first Academy Award was for working on the first Star Wars film, and he's got 4 Oscars. So he worked on all 3 of the original Star Wars films and was an absolute pioneer with those and with Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then he went on to open his own business for visual and special effects. And they produced for films like Ghostbusters and Poltergeist and Ghost. His filmography is absolutely exceptional. And his impact, it's hard to actually adequately describe his impact on the film industry. So we'll have Richard on stage. He'll have a conversation about his life and career, and then he'll be presented with the award and take some questions from the audience. He does have a unique tie as he was born right here in Fargo, North Dakota. So
oh, wow. Wow.
That was kind of our draw to get him to come to the festival.
Well, that's great. Yeah. Sounds like some exciting things. Also, understand some interesting showcase events planned?
Oh, absolutely. So that the ones I just mentioned are 2 of the 5.
Yep.
And then we'll also kick things off on opening night with a documentary feature called Bathtubs Over Broadway. And it's about the world of industrial musicals, which I love musical theater, but I knew basically nothing about industrial musicals. Apparently, these were plays that were written by some top Broadway talent, performed by top Broadway talent, exclusively for the industry that they were written for. So they would hire, you know, top composers to write a musical about bathtubs or Ford automobiles or tractors, and they would just perform them 1 or 2 nights for that employee group. And so the documentary is funny, it's fascinating. They have interviews with Broadway legends like Chita Rivera. The star of the film will actually be coming here to support the screening for opening night. His name is Steve Young, and he's kind of the featured subject in the documentary because he's an avid record collector who also worked as a comedy writer for David Letterman for like 20 years. So we're thinking he'll probably be a pretty dynamic guest and have a lot of fun with the audience.
Well, good. I understand you also have 2 Oscar nominees screenings this year. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, so that's something that really lets us know that we're on the right track with programming for the festival. We have 2 short films that are currently nominated for Oscars. There's an animated piece called Weekends, which follows a little boy as he's shuffled back and forth between his recently divorced parents. And it's just this beautiful, heartbreaking piece that is exquisitely animated. That's up for the Oscar for Best Animated Short. And then we have a short narrative film called Fauve. It's a French-Canadian film that follows 2 little boys playing in a mine. And then they fall into a tricky situation, and it's kind of what happens after that. That's currently nominated for the Oscar for Best Live Action Short. So we're really proud to include those in our programming.
Mm-hmm. You know, how do you get films, or do some of the films in the festival circuit have a distribution deal, or are they looking for that, or how does it work?
Absolutely, and we're seeing more and more of that with the Fargo Film Festival as we continue to grow and kind of build our reputation. More and more of our films do have distribution deals, which means they're playing in cinemas across the country, so we work with those distributors to get them booked for the festival. That's what we want to see for these independent films, to see that success for them and see them reaching out across the country.
Well, Emily, you talked a little bit, but talk about the history of the festival and how it got started and how it's grown.
Oh yeah, so like you said, we're in the 19th year. When it started, the festival was about 3 days long, and I think they screened about 30-some films. Now we're up to 5 days, showcasing nearly 100 films, especially if you count the 2-minute movie contest. So we've seen some pretty remarkable growth in the last 2 decades. I think a lot of that is due to our awesome volunteer base. They've really stuck with us, some of them, since the very beginning. So we're looking forward to the 20th next year.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to having you back for that one. That'll be a big. Talk about the jurying process and how the volunteers help with that.
Oh yeah, this festival is volunteer driven. This festival happens because there are 60+ people in this community that give so many hours to making it come to life. Films are submitted into competition online through an online platform. They're divided into 7 different categories based on genre, and each category has its own jury. Usually 9 to 13 people. They watch the films that are submitted into their category, and then they come together as a group. They get to have lively discussions and kind of fight it out to decide what films will make the cut, what will be selected to show at the festival, and then what films have to sadly receive our regrets. So the volunteers make this festival happen, and we're very grateful for them.
Well, you mentioned that. So are there any paid staff for the festival? And how many volunteers are there?
Well, you're looking at the paid staff. No. Fargo Theater staff, because this is the Fargo Theater's largest annual fundraiser, all 3 of us on the Fargo Theater staff, we do, pour our hearts into this festival too, but it is definitely volunteer driven.
Okay. You mentioned 2-minute movie contest. What's that? Is it just what it says?
It is, yeah. It's a really good title, actually, now that I think about it. It's produced by Greg Carlson, and the premise is very simple. Basically, we put a call out to movie makers of all ages across the globe, and the challenge is make a movie that's 2 minutes or less, including titles. It can't be any longer than 2 minutes. And we get the most fascinating submissions, everything from animated films to really short documentaries, slice of life things. We have students that submit from all over the country, including some New Jersey students that submit their work every year. And we show them, the jury selects which films will be included that night of the festival as a part of the 2-minute movie contest. Not everything makes it in anymore because we have so many submissions, but they do show quite a few films. And I always say that night, if you're watching and you don't like what you see, just wait 2 minutes and something else will come up. But it is one of my favorite nights of the festival. It's so lively, there's so much energy, and because there's usually quite a bit of local work in that too.
Okay. Also, I understand there's a bowling activity that's going to happen on Thursday night, I guess at All-Star Bowl in Moorhead. What goes on there?
Oh, that's a blast. We try to have socials and parties worked into the whole week of the festival. The bowling party is always one of my favorites. It's an opportunity for our guest artists to mingle with our audience members and our volunteers in a really relaxed, casual atmosphere. So we go to All-Star Bowl, we have bowling, we're gonna have karaoke this year and pizza, and just give people a chance that are movie lovers, a chance to interact and get to know the guest artists on a, like I said, a more casual type environment.
Okay. What are ticket prices and do you have package deals?
Yeah, so our goal with Film Festival tickets is to really offer a little something to everybody. We have what we call our All Access Pass that includes the entire festival. The Napoleon Dynamite event, all the parties, everything. That starts out at $125. And that's for people that can kind of give us their whole week. You know, we have quite a few people that take the week off of work and just kind of enjoy the whole festival. But we've got passes all the way down to just a single afternoon or morning session for $7 or a single evening session for $9. So if you're just able to steal away for maybe one evening, you can certainly do that as well.
Sure. So it's something for everybody.
Yeah.
I understand you'll have lunch panels again, I believe at Dempsey's.
We do, yeah. Educational components are an important part of the festival, and these lunch and panel discussions allow experts to share more about topics that are in films, particularly documentaries, but then also elements of filmmaking itself and the industry. So on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the festival, we have these panel discussions at Dempsey's. People can munch on delicious food and hear some really interesting people discuss different elements in filmmaking.
Okay. Well, with that said, you've mentioned some of them along the way. Can you talk a bit about some of the winning films specifically?
Oh, absolutely. Our animation winner this year is called The Driver is Red, and it's actually an animated short documentary based on a true story about a man who was a Nazi hunter, basically, after World War II. It's done primarily in black and white with splashes of red, and it is unforgettable and absolutely compelling. And it helps us learn a little slice of history along with it. I mentioned Bathtubs Over Broadway as our winning documentary feature. Our winning documentary short is a film called Beneath the Ink, and it focuses on a tattoo artist who decided to kind of challenge his community to move away from hate and towards acceptance. He put out a call out saying, if you have some sort of hateful tattoo on your body, whether it be a swastika or something like that, come on in and I'll cover it up for you for free. So it tells his story, but then it also tells the story of a few people who have changed the way they see the world and are coming into that tattoo shop to change what they have on their body. And it's, oh, I'm getting teary just talking about it. It's a beautiful little film. I'm really proud to have it.
Well, okay. Now, the narrative feature winner, Little Woods, though it was not shot in North Dakota, it is set in North Dakota. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Little Woods is set out in the oil fields in western North Dakota. And it stars Tessa Thompson and Lily James, who are just, you know, huge actresses right now. Their careers are kind of skyrocketing. But they're two sisters who, their mother passes away, and they find out they have 1 week to pay the rest of her mortgage or they're going to lose her house. So they have to start looking into other options to come up with that money pretty quickly. And of course, some of that involves crime. So it's a bit of a thriller. It's a drama, but it's also a bit of a nail-biter there too. I think it's one of the best features we've ever played, and Tessa Thompson delivers an incredible performance. So I do hope people come and check that out.
Emily, I meant to ask you, do you view all films that are submitted?
Not all films that are submitted. I do watch every film that makes it into the festival. Sure. I love movies, but also I have to know what I'm doing if I'm going to put the program together. So.
Sure you are. And it can't be done without partnerships. Can you talk about some of your key sponsors this year?
Absolutely. Bell Bank has been our presenting sponsor since the festival's inception. They're our largest sponsor, and we wouldn't be here without Bell Bank. Form Communications and Sanford have also been long-term supporters, as well as a variety of businesses. So we're really grateful for them.
Are there opportunities for, maybe not for this year because we're already too close, but for people to get involved, sponsors or volunteers?
Absolutely. During the week of the festival, we'll have a sign-up sheet for people that might be interested in becoming a volunteer for the next cycle. It's kind of a year-round process, but that's the time we start taking new recruits. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity. We have a lot of fun. We definitely have a lot of fun. And then sponsorships, yeah, we're always ready and willing to welcome new people into the fold.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the responses and reactions you've gotten over the years from artists who have been here, and I guess some even come back.
Yeah, they do. We have an actor named Paul Bailey who's based in London, who's actually coming back for his third visit to the Fargo Film Festival this year. He fell in love with our community, and that's something that I hear over and over again. Fargo's not exactly what they expect when they come from New York or LA or overseas. But they seem to be touched by the warmth of our audiences and our community, and they just like the vibe of downtown Fargo and all the unique shopping and eating and everything that area has to offer. So it means a lot to us when filmmakers come and they have a good experience. That means we're on the right track, I think.
Mm-hmm. Has moving the festival back in March to later dates helped in any way?
Absolutely, yeah. So for many years, the festival was right at the beginning of March, but that kind of had some conflicts with the big South by Southwest Film Festival, and it had us just a little too close to Sundance. So moving it back into later March has been good for avoiding those conflicts, and also generally we've seen a little bit better weather, knock on wood, so not as few flights are getting interrupted and things like that in later March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how has the attendance figures been? You've been with it 10 years. I assume there's been some ups and downs, but how's it been?
It's been going well. We've seen at least some sort of marginal increase every year, actually. And then last year we saw a really promising numbers. We doubled the sales of our comprehensive passes. So we're seeing more people that are coming for the duration of the festival and kind of choosing to spend their whole week with us. Again, that's something we think is a good sign.
Well, and with this said, before I ask you about how to get the tickets, you said for somebody who's maybe just on the fringe and hadn't been, you know, what would you say to encourage them to try a night?
Yeah, I would say check out Saturday of the festival, March 23rd. It's our Best of the Fest day. All day long, there's award-winning films. It's some of our best content, and we'll have a lot of special guest filmmakers on hand answering questions. So if you're just going to dip a toe in, that's the perfect day to do it.
Well, with that said, if people want to get tickets or get ticket information, where's the best place to go? Who can they contact?
I would recommend taking a look at the breakdown of tickets on FargoFilmFestival.com, and then they can be purchased in person at the Fargo Theater box office. If you're looking for the Napoleon Dynamite event, that is ticketed separately through Tickets 300.
Now, I understand you've brought some clips for us to look at.
Yeah, some sneak peeks of our award-winning films.
Well, let's do that right now. We're going to take a look at some film clips from the 7 winning films.
It's hard to top The Bathrooms Are Coming. What a great thing.
I thought he made it
I thought he made it up too.
And like it was this thing in our family.
I was working at the Letterman Show as a comedy writer. I started finding these mysterious corporate records, musicals, but about tractors or silicone products. I didn't know anything about musical theater, but I was pretty sure it wasn't supposed to be this.
My bathroom is a private kind of place.
Everybody was doing these things. Giant companies, tiny companies.
If the patient gets bloody,
I found some sort of treasure trove that we weren't supposed to know about at all.
It's the way. It's the everything's coming out, it go.
had no hobbies. I barely had any friends outside the show. Hello.
Well, hi, Steve.
Hello, Sheldon.
Welcome to Casa Mia.
But I knew I've got to have as much of this as I can find.
Oh my God!
These are people who have changed American culture.
It was a dream job.
And there were a lot of them.
It was almost like having a door open to a secret society.
The general public had no knowledge of what was going on unless you were at one of these sales meetings.
This stuff is bizarre and hilarious. Those are only the beginning layers.
Carter, hi.
Hey. Hope you don't mind me stopping by. Just wanted to see how it went.
No, of course. Come on in.
And I haven't done a drop-in for some time, so I thought I'd double up on my duties.
Sure.
Come on back, man. Because of my social media outreach, you know, a lot of people, once I say share, it spreads like wildfire.
Have you come around here for me on this side of the table? We'll get the stencil on you, my man, and we'll go from there.
And it happens. You see it both sides. You see people that are super stoked for the person and that are really happy that the person's moving on. And then you have the people that are like, well, would they have done it if it wasn't for free, kind of thing. I don't care that it's for free, or I don't care why they got it. Like, I just feel like I have to do something.
Hey guys. Hey. Are you really, really hot? Are you 3 or 4?
Mommy's coming back. Mommy's right there. Mommy.
I don't see her yet, Caroline. I'm gonna wait just a. Yeah, I do see her now. You stay here. Stay here. Ma'am, I don't know what you're
going right now. I'm sorry.
No.
We're going right now.
Ma'am, we need to stop. This is so serious.
Everybody okay? Everybody okay? Wait. Wait.
Where are those keys, baby? Where are the keys, Caroline? Huh?
I don't know.
Where are the keys?
Mommy.
Caroline, where are the keys? Where are they? Huh? Where are the keys, Caroline? Shit!
Are you okay? But you need to stay here. No, you need to stay here.
Hey, we're here. Oh, come on. I know you're faking. Elliot. Elliot. Elliot.
God!
Damn it!
Later, I knew it would be a risk, but I decided to see if I could determine where Adolf Eichmann got on the bus. I knew where he got off the bus every weekday at 7:40 p.m., but it was possible there might be a better place for the abduction. On May 4th, I boarded the 203 bus about 8 stops before the previous town of San Fernando, and immediately feared I had made a big mistake. Adolf Eichmann was already on the bus. I was hoping the bus driver would not ask me any questions and my foreign accent would be heard. Fortunately, I put down my 4 pesos with no questions, and fate does funny things sometimes. You see, on this day, the bus was almost entirely full and there was only one open seat. It was the one directly behind Adolf Eichmann.
Boy, Emily, those were some great looking clips. Thanks for bringing them by.
Oh, my pleasure. And again, the festival will be March 19th through the 23rd. Hope everyone can join us.
Thanks for joining us today. Well, that's all we have on Prairie Pulse for this week. And as always, thanks for watching.
Funding provided by the members of Prairie Public.